job. During the trial with that Amber, my verdict, and they did it. Appeal unjust enrichment. These judges accommodated them because when it comes out 2 juries and 2 judges find Kyle guilty, who's not? They threw out the whole verdict. They did all that, and they violated their own rules. A 76-year rule. Here's what it states. Because it happened during summation, where the judge allowed it in, and my attorney, it ended up 4 questions in an 11-day trial and a half a page of a 20-page summary, and it was overturned on that. And they overturned it because they felt there was undue influence on the jury, that they found out that insurance was paying for everything.
So it's that one factor?
Well, and here's the deal. They say something, you must object. You must object so the trial lawyer has a chance to rule during final argument, and the jury has a chance to hear the ruling. They never objected.
So they must object to undue influence because of the fact that it was...
I don't understand they never objected. The jury was dismissed at 11:58. At 12:02, they then objected. The judge overruled them, and we were done with it. Well, these 2 judges, Riley and Shepard, have now overturned the case on something that was never objected to in trial. They objected to it, so they overturned the jury and the federal judge. Then they also overturned my unjust enrichment claim because the media didn't want it. What they've allowed now is the media can defame you and profit from it, and you can't get any of their profits, and no matter how they harm you. Well, that's the equivalent of if you went out and robbed the bank and they caught you, and they sentence you to 2 years in prison for the bank robbery, but when you get out, you get to keep all the money you took.
So that's in this particular case.
Yes,
about this particular
which
case.
will now be the standard, because they've ruled that way. They now make it to where you can profit from wrongdoing.
Because of this case.
Yep.
Should be able to keep them from the
This is such a touchy case because it's so indicative of the complications of people. Because people are not simple.
It's really not touchy. He lied.
He did lie, but
and he harmed me with his lie.
But that's not what I'm saying. What's complicated is he's also the subject of this gigantic movie and this symbol of patriotism, where so many people will say, Chris Kyle, rest in peace. So many people would have, I saw a cloud that was, someone took a photo in the cloud. That's not a cloud, that's Chris Kyle. It looked like a sniper in the cloud. It's Chris Kyle guarding the skies. Like, it became a meme. I mean, he became this thing where it wasn't, he was a representative of the brave military, like the portrayal, but hold on a second, the portrayal that Bradley Cooper played in that movie was so simplistic and so, it was like right out of a Joseph Campbell movie, like the perfect hero's journey.
Had I not gone to court, that would have been in the movie. I had to stop it.
They were going to have him punch you in the movie.
Well, certainly it's in the book.
Holy shit.
And I had to stop it. Because, when we were in trial, you know what they tried to do to diminish my role? Because when they knew they were going to lose, their lawyer got me on the stand and he said, Mr. Ventura, he said, would it surprise you to know that the first draft of the movie doesn't have you in it? Trying to prove how insignificant my part of the book.
First draft of the movie? That doesn't mean shit.
Well, the first draft of the script.
But so what if the second draft has you in it?
Though, I said, here's my response. I said, no, that wouldn't surprise me at all, because I said, we've sent 2 letters to Warner Brothers warning them that if I'm indeed in this movie, they will be next to be sued. So we put Warner Brothers on notice that if this chapter's included in your movie, you will get sued next. And you know people out here, they don't want to step into a lawsuit. That's the only thing that kept me from being punched out in that movie and portrayed me as a villain in that frickin' movie. And I've never seen the movie.
Not just a villain, way more than a villain.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that is insane. It is insane because what's crazy to me and what's complicated about this is that there are thousands and thousands of brave men and women who have risked their lives, sacrificed their lives, and this guy becomes this figurehead, and where he rises above,
including me,
including you. Yes, very important. But he rises above all this and becomes this
icon.
Yes, this iconic just for this overall image of patriotism.
Yep.
It's crazy. What a crazy place that must have been for you.
Still is. In fact, do you know that this person that I told you about with the seizures, the seizure disorder started right after this.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
the
seizures,
must have been
doctors have said seizures can be caused by stress. So I hold Chris Kyle directly responsible for the seizure disorder also that I had to face, that marijuana cured.
Did you ever communicate with him face to face?
Only once at the first, when we first in June, I didn't even know who he was. And then in June of 2012, after the book came out in January, we had a settlement conference where he kept saying that if he met me in person, we could work it out. So at this conference, we agreed I would meet him in a room, the judge in the corner, and just he and I, like you and I are here. We sat down in the room, and I looked him right in the face, and I said, "Why did you do this? You never punched me." He looked me back and said, "Yes, I did." I turned to the judge. I said, "There's no need to go any farther." I said, if he's not going to admit it didn't happen, face-to-face, one-on-one, and I challenge his courage. Because, yeah, he had the courage to go to Iraq. He had the courage to shoot all these people, but he didn't have the courage to tell the truth, did he?
What a bizarre moment that must have been, sitting across from that guy.
Yeah, and he looked at me and said, "Yes, I did."
What was the look in his face?
I believe, and I'm not a doctor, but I've done some studying, I think he was a sociopath. Sociopaths can lie and hold a straight face, and they lie to the point where they believe their own lie.
How bizarre is it that this iconic figure...
Well, and then look how he died.
Yeah.
Well, he had no training in post-traumatic stress. He's not medical, and yet he's taking this Marine to a gun range who's suffering from post-traumatic stress. Wouldn't common sense tell you not to put a weapon in the hands of someone suffering from post-traumatic stress?
Well, I think every
what
guy
do you do? Tell him to man up?
Stress is different,
well,
right?
what do they tell him? To man up?
Servitor.
Why would you put a weapon in somebody's hands who's suffering from post-traumatic stress when you have no medical training? How is Kyle qualified to treat this guy?
Well, I would assume it would be based on his own post-traumatic stress.
But he didn't have it.
He didn't have it at all. No?
He was never treated for it. He may have had it. Maybe that's why he did what he did. I don't know.
God, what a crazy place to be.
But for me, it's like I've been accused of something I didn't do. I don't even know the guy. Never. I may have met him that night briefly.
Well, let me tell you something. I obviously didn't get 1/1,000,000th of a percent of the amount of hate that you did. But just reading,
I got read off September 11th of this year. I was in New York doing this book tour, and I got read off in a hotel lobby over this.
What does that mean, read off?
A guy yelled and screamed at me in front of the entire hotel lobby.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I live with now. And I haven't been damaged. My reputation isn't damaged over something I never did.
What I was going to say is, I obviously haven't experienced 1/1,000,000th of the hate that you have, but we read this article on the air. We were trying to figure out what happened when your case was going on. And so we read this article that was, I don't know, it was in the New York Times. See if you can find the article detailing all the various lies.
Oh, that's the New Yorker magazine.
New Yorker, yeah.
New Yorker magazine. They did an investigation of it.
But it's stunning. And just reading that, the fucking amount of hate tweets and Facebook tweets and you fucking coward and you this and you that. I'm like, hey, I didn't write it. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And
Yeah.
if someone put something like that in the New Yorker with verified claims, I mean, everything's verified. Like what they were saying that he said and what actually had happened was all verified.
Yep.
It's very, very, very confusing that somehow or another this slipped through the cracks and that this became their iconic figure. Again, not discounting, along with you, the thousands and thousands of patriotic Americans that risk their lives.
And he is too. Nobody's denying he wasn't a great sniper. Nobody's denying he didn't do his job. I've never denied that from him or said that about him. He may be the best. I don't know. I'll still put my money on Carlos Hathcock, though, the Marine, as being the best sniper.
Well, especially now.
But he did his job and he did it well. But why did he have to take an old veteran? That would be like me. I think he got jealous that night we were at the bar because everyone crowded around and wanted their picture with me. I don't know. He'll never be around to answer it. I'd love to know why he picked out me. I think because I'm probably the most famous, maybe, or I developed to be the most famous SEAL other than Dick Marcinko, the Rogue Warrior.
Great books.
Yeah,
Read his books.
well, he's a friend of mine, Richard Marcinko. And
when you sat down and you're talking to this guy, how much time were you actually in the room with him?
Oh, a couple of minutes was all. The minute he looked me in the eye and said, "I sure did hit you," I turned to the judge and said, "We got nothing more to talk about."
You didn't want to.
I even offered him. I said, "If you will walk out to me with the press and admit you fabricated this story, I will forgive you in front of the press and we will go on with our lives." He would not do it. He did not have the courage to stand up and tell the truth.
It takes a lot of courage to admit you lied about something that massive. I mean, this isn't lying about speeding, right? This is a massive, massive
lie. What about ruining my life, ruining my reputation, ruining my wife's life? I lost my conspiracy theory show because of it. Really? I can't get hired. Right now, I can't get a job. My last job was on the internet at Aura TV because the owner's Carlos Slim from Mexico. From that, you know who I'm hired? You know who I work for now? The Russians. Russian TV RT's the only people that'll hire me because 34 media conglomerates entered this case to overturn me. You think they're going to hire me?
Now explain that. Why do you think they did that? Do you think they did that because if they overturn your case, if they can somehow or another...
Because they don't want to have to fact check.
But is that it, or is that discrediting you in public? That was a gigantic hit movie. But if they can discredit you, it makes that movie still valuable.
All this trouble to break into an old temple?
Even old wolves still bite. Shiro, what's your status?
Circling around to make sure the area is clear. Be there in a sec.
Well done, Guardian. The temple is secure. Now we can leave.
Shiro, get a lock on it.
I just picked up... Wait. Multiple impacts near the wall in Sector 17.
They're attacking the sensor grid. They must know where Siva is.
Guardian, go to the Cosmodrome immediately. If Sepix escapes, the Fallen won't be our only problem.
Where'd he go? How's it going? I don't like being followed.
Jack Reacher, rated PG-13.
They're getting up and saying it's taxing them financially and lying. The truth is,
okay.
insurance is paying for all of it. Don't get up and lie about it.
So the other side was saying this is going to devastate our family.
Oh yeah.
But in reality, they weren't.
Yeah. Trying to influence and in this case, let me state this: how overwhelming must the evidence have been for the jury to go against the grieving widow of the dead war veteran?
Yeah, it must be pretty overwhelming.
Night we were at the bar because everyone crowded around and wanted their picture with me.
Wow.
I don't know. He'll never be around to answer it. I'd love to know why he picked out me. I think because I'm probably the most famous, maybe, or I developed to be the most famous SEAL other than Dick Marcinko, the Rogue Warrior.
Great books.
Yeah.
Read his books.
Well, he's a friend of mine, Richard Marcinko.
When you sat down and you're talking to this guy, how much time were you actually in the room with him?
Oh, a couple of minutes was all. The minute he looked me in the eye and said, "I sure did hit you," I turned to the judge and said, "We got nothing more to talk about."
You didn't want to.
I even offered him. I said, "If you will walk out to me with the press and admit you fabricated this story, I will forgive you in front of the press, and we will go on with our lives." He would not do it. He did not have the courage to stand up and tell the truth.
It takes a lot of courage to admit you lied about something that massive. I mean, this isn't lying about speeding, right? This is a massive, massive
what
lie.
about ruining my life, ruining my reputation, ruining my wife's life? I lost my conspiracy theory show because of it.
Really?
I can't get hired. Right now, I can't get a job. My last job was on the internet at Aura TV because the owner's Carlos Slim from Mexico. From that, you know who I'm hired? You know who I work for now? The Russians. To overturn me. You think they're going to hire me?
Now explain that. Why do you think they did that? Do you think they did that because if they overturn your case, if they can somehow or another...
Because they don't want to have to fact check.
But is that it? Or is that discrediting you in... Like, that was a gigantic hit movie. But if they can discredit you, it makes that movie still valuable.
Not only that, it stops me from running for president, don't it, if they can discredit me.
Do you want to run for president?
I thought about it.
Even living in Mexico?
Well,
would you do it from Mexico?
I would have had to have forsaken that. That's why I didn't do it. The
reason why you didn't run for president is because you would have to have forsaken living in Mexico.
I would have had.
Right now, you might fucking win.
I know. I think I could have won. No, the Libertarians contacted me twice to come to their convention. They wanted to nominate me.
Yes, come back to America.
And I chose not to do it because I was up for the campaigning. I was up to taking on the Dems and Repubs. But at this point, at age 65, I wasn't up to do the job for 4 years, where I'd have to end my lifestyle in Mexico. Because people don't realize when you get one of the no freedom % on that, and I felt that if I to go for president, you have to be 100% committed to do the job. If you're not, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating all the people that voted for you. If you're not 100% committed, I could not reach 100%, so I chose not to.
So is this because of your own personal feelings about living in Mexico and having freedom and relaxation and enjoying the quality of life?
And also, I knew what would happen to me if I looked like I was going to win. I would be politically assassinated. They would pull up everything they could on me. You know, one of the things they missed, which I laugh about today when I ran for governor, they never found it out, and I've admitted it since, so it'll show up now. But they never found out, because I'm sure they would have tried to use it even though it's irrelevant. And if I'd have gone for president, they would have. You know what that is?
What?
I used to be sergeant at arms of the Mongols Motorcycle Club.
Really? What does that mean? What's sergeant at arms? Just the guy carrying
Third
guns?
in command.
The Mongols are... I watched some fucking one of those really terrible news shows where they do reenactments of
Well, the Mongols are strong here in Southern California. We're the black and white. We're the ones that fought war with the hell...
What's the black and white?
That's our colors.
Oh, okay.
The Angels are red and white.
Oh.
The Mongols are black and white.
Did you guys have shootouts with the Angels occasionally?
Yeah.
Do you have one of those jackets?
Yeah, I have that at home. No, I was an officer, so I was allowed to keep mine.
So what does that mean? Like, what did you guys do?
At that time, it was 1973. I rode Harleys, and I was still in the Navy. I used to leave the base and put my colors on.
But what, like sergeant at arms? What does that mean? You had to carry guns?
No, sergeant at arms. You got the president of the chapter. You got the vice president. Third is the sergeant at arms. Fourth is the secretary. It's very militaristic.
Nobody wants to be the secretary.
Yeah, you do. That's an officer. No, but you keep track of all the money and stuff.
But what the fuck do you do? Like, do you just drive
ride
around?
bikes and party.
But why do you need all that, those rankings and file and all that jazz?
Because it's a club. It's like the Elks. They have presidents of the Elks Club. They have presidents of whatever other stuff there is.
But the Elks Club doesn't get in gang wars with the Moose Club.
Well, you never know.
You never know. They might.
Never know.
They might get crazy.
A turf war could happen.
Right, like the Navy and the Army might do that out. The Elks and the Moose Club.
And in my day, a lot of the outlaw bikers were former military.
Yes. And that was a big thing with the Hells Angels.
Yeah, because you came home,
coming back from Vietnam.
You wanted your camaraderie. You wanted that brotherhood.
Right.
You wanted. I did.
And they felt disenfranchised, right?
I did it more for the adventure. I was getting out of the SEALs. I'd done 2 tours, 17 months in Southeast Asia. I was going to transition into private life. I was riding a Harley. My 2 buddies that I'd ridden with a year earlier were now full-patch Mongols when I came back from my second deployment.
Let me pretend to be a douchebag politician running against you here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you really prepared to have a former sergeant of arms from the Mongols Motorcycle Club running the United States of America? I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen.
And I would counter that and say, nobody messes with the Mongols, nobody will mess with the U.S.
Well, that's people do mess with the Mongols, though, and we don't really.
No, they don't.
I would have to help you.
No,
with
they
that speech.
don't.
Let's not do that.
No, they don't.
They do mess with the Mongols, right? Don't they have wars? Don't they have those guys? Don't they shoot it out in like Texas steakhouses and shit? Didn't they have like some big fucking shootout?
Ours was Harrah's nightclub in Nevada.
When was that?
That was back in '02.
Yeah, but there was a big one a couple of years ago, right?
Not with us.
Wasn't with the Mongols? With us. So you're saying us, like you're still with them, huh? Is it like a Marine? You're a Marine for life, that kind of thing? You got a card on you? Yeah. What are you just gonna pull out this goddamn Mongol card? I don't believe this. What do you got in there? He's got a wallet. He's gonna pull out a Mongol card.
See?
Right next to his Disneyland year pass. I got a Disneyland year pass.
I gotta find it now. I tuck it away. No, I actually.
You have a Mongol card. I would think that you would need a tattoo. I would say, listen, bitch, if you really want to be down for life, we're gonna give you a tattoo.
I already have.
Of the Mongols?
No.
What is it? Like a UDT tattoo?
The SEALs.
Yeah.
I have the Budweiser Trident.
You trying to find your Mongol card? How many of those cards do you actually
There's
use?
mine,
Look at that.
and there's the card from Geo, the Hollywood Prez gave me his last time I saw him.
Bam, motherfuckers. Legit. Too legit to quit. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
And my name was...
I don't know. What was your name?
Find it on there. You never go by your real name.
Superman?
Superman.
Why'd they call you Superman?
Because I was in such a physical specimen that when I was prospecting, they make you do push-ups and stuff, and I liked it.
Oh, so this is back in before the Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh yeah, this is back when I was transitioning out of the SEALs into civilian life. And in fact, there's a good transition I can tell you about that shows how a book should do due diligence before they write something. There was a book written by William Queen, an ATF agent, who infiltrated the Mongols. It's called Under and Alone, and he infiltrated them and put like 25 of them in prison. Well, in the book, they wrote that I was a former Mongol, Governor Jesse Ventura, blah, 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 right? But you know what they did? Before the book was published, they sent me an entire copy of the book. They said, Governor, please read this, and if you have any problems, call us. So I read the book. I didn't hide from the fact that I was in the Mongols. I never do. But I did want them to change something, and they did. When I called them, I said, you stated the history of the Mongols that we started off like all white supremacist outlaw motorcycle clubs. I said I would never join anything that was white supremacist. I said, to me, a biker is a lifestyle, and the color of your skin has nothing to do with it. And I said, and the Mongols were not white supremacist. And she said to me, well, Governor, how can you prove that? I started laughing. I said, I think I can prove it easily. She goes, tell me, this the editor at Random House. I said, at what time did Mexicans become white supremacists? Because I said the Mongols are 75% Latino Mexican. I was one of the few white guys who could ride into East LA and never be bothered because of my patch. So how can you call us what? The Mongols started because Mexicans weren't allowed in the Hells Angels.
See, I knew I liked you.
So the Mongols the Mexican bikers started their own bike club because they weren't allowed to be angels.
Well,
and
how
yet
did they miss
allow
that?
white guys.
But how did they miss that in writing the book? That seems stupid.
Because they didn't know any better.
But that seems like a giant error.
It was.
That's like a critical
that's why I
aspect of
had
the history
them,
of it.
I had them pull out white supremacist. I said, and she started laughing when I said, well, I've never met a Mexican white supremacist, have you? She said, no, I haven't either. I said, well, we're 75% Latino Mexican. She goes, really? I said, yes. And I gave her the history. The Mongols started because the Hells Angels wouldn't allow Mexicans.
That's hilarious.
And that's how the Mongols got started in 1970. Because they're 75% Latino Mexican, but they didn't have the same, you could be white. You know, I was a minority in the Mongols.
Now, was there crime involved in the Mongols?
I don't know. Like I
know.
told them, I was still in the Navy and they used to protect me. Whenever we'd have church, right? Church, that's meeting.
They call it church?
Mm-hmm. Whenever we'd have church, if it got to anything that was at all illegal, my prez would send me out to watch the bikes.
That's fucking weird.
Well, they knew I was in the military. I'd
Didn't that
face
feel
double.
bizarre to you?
No, because I'd face double. I'd face military justice as well as civilian. A lot of these guys are old military. They did it to protect me.
I appreciate that, but didn't it feel bizarre to you to be a part of a group that was probably doing some illegal shit?
No, because I thought at least I won't go to jail. They won't have nothing on me because I don't know nothing about it.
And you didn't care. You loved them no matter what.
I love driving. You should see when I'd get pulled over. We'd get pulled over by the CHP, California Highway Patrol, back then. And I'd pull out my active duty military ID. And they'd look at me and, what are you doing with these guys? I said, they like to ride bikes. So do I.
You just ride a bike by yourself? No?
No, because cars have no respect for you.
Ah, so you ride bikes to be safe.
If you're riding and looking like you showed what there up on the screen a little while ago, you think the cars are going to bother you?
They're going to get the fuck out of your way.
That's right.
Oh, that's interesting. Whoa,
Yeah,
look
there
at
we
that.
are, right there.
Yeah. Wow. And do you still put on those jackets and still get on the Harley?
Yeah, except it ain't a Harley.
What do you ride now?
I ride a custom chopper that I had built, and it turned out there's not one Harley thing on it. I have an SS-124 engine, which is bigger than anything Harley's got, V-twin, by SS out in Viola, Wisconsin. I have an SS-124 cubic inches. The biggest Harley, I think, is 102.
So do you drive this around Mexico?
No, I drive it in Minnesota.
Oh.
And I have, it's a Rolling Thunder frame, Arlen Ness front end and primary cover, RevTech 6-speed transmission, Kiriakum gears. Turned out when I built the whole chopper, in the end there wasn't one thing Harley on it.
Is that good?
I don't know. It's all custom made, though. And I put the old sissy bar that goes way up. I made a custom bike.
Are you doing these things, the 8-hangers?
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah, got the 8-hangers and the
above your
sissy
shoulders?
bar. No, mine aren't that high. Mine are about right here.
Right here seems logical.
Yeah.
That seems logical.
Yeah.
These guys, this is
Yeah, no, I don't
ridiculous
go
shit.
that high.
That's ridiculous.
I don't go, but I have an extended front end.
Why do they do that, though, with the up high handlebars?
Looks cool.
But you can't steer.
Doesn't matter.
It does. It does if you have to get the
Not
fuck
to
out
an
of the way or
outlaw.
something.
Not to us. To us, it's all about
You're
being
a complicated
cool.
man, Mr. Ventura.
It's all
You're a
about
bunch of
being, it's
things.
all about being cool.
I get it, but you're a bunch of things.
Like sissy bars, you don't have them today. The guys that built the bike didn't even know what they were.
What's a sissy bar?
That's the bar that sticks up high in the back.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's a sissy bar?
Yeah, that's they call it, so you don't slide off the seat. Sissies, that's what.
sissy.
But see, to me, I don't like saddlebags.
Right.
So a sissy bar is the replacement. I'm going to bungee anything I need to take with me on the sissy bar, like the sleeping bag and anything else you're taking. You bungee it to the sissy bar for when you drive down the road, because I don't dig saddlebags.
So you'll drive down the road and go camping somewhere?
No, I rode when I got out of office. I rode all over Minnesota flying my colors, and no one even recognized me. You know why?
Why?
I went to a place, I had a full beard after I taught at Harvard. And so Johnny Depp had come out in Captain Jack Sparrow. So I went to a place with a picture and I says, "Can you make my beard look like that?" And they go, "Sure." So they braided my beard.
I remember when you were doing
So I had all the braids, right? Then they talked me into letting me put dreadlocks. They sewed them into my hair. And they dyed my hair jet black. I had dreadlocks to here. The thing like that. I rode 1 year after I was out of office. I drove all over Minnesota with dreadlocks to my shoulders, the beard, no helmet because we don't have a helmet law. And people were locking their doors. I had my Mongol colors on, and here I'm the governor. It was great. Never recognized.
That is so
Never
bizarre.
recognized because I had dreadlocks. They gave me all the way to the shoulders.
Now, why are you riding around with no helmet on?
Why? Because you don't have to in Minnesota.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to protect your head?
I don't like helmets. I don't think they should be mandatory. I think something far more... You know what I laugh at?
What?
When you see someone wearing a helmet and riding a bike with tennis shoes. It's far more important to have over-the-ankle boots as a biker than a helmet.
Why is that?
Your feet touch the ground. What's going to stable you if you start sliding out? Your foot.
Right, okay.
You don't want tennis shoes. You want an over-the-ankle laced-up boot.
So
or
you're
an
pretty
engineer
confident
boot or
that if
something.
you'll be able to protect your head?
I don't know, but it's a choice of freedom.
I
But
understand.
what about one of the little
Not
skull
sure if it
cap
can be
jammies that
modified
go
to
like a
work with the
hat?
Guardian.
What if my head starts itching?
Jesus Christ, scratch it.
No, then you got to rub the helmet. That's why when you see a biker rubbing his helmet, it's because his head's itching.
Well, we'll just
Look, and let me put it to you
up and
this
not worry
way.
about an itch.
Wait, I'll accept helmets on motorcycles when they make people in convertibles that don't have roll bars have to wear them.
I have a convertible that doesn't have a roll bar.
Then you
That's a
should
good
have to
point.
wear a helmet.
That's a good point.
What if you roll that car and you don't have a helmet on?
That's a very good point.
There you go.
I think about
so
that
So
sometimes
the
when
day
I'm high.
that you got to have a roll bar is the day I'll put the helmet on.
All right, buddy. Relax.
And I can't wait to see these women in Beverly Hills with their convertible Mercedes having to put helmets on.
Well, those actually have roll bars built in. They pop up when one wheel goes off the ground, if you know about that.
I don't know
German
about that.
engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the ball.
Well, I own Porsche. Porsche don't have it.
What do you mean Porsche doesn't have it? What year?
I got a 2000 and a 2003.
Well, so you have a 996.
No, I have a Boxster S and I have the twin turbo.
Okay, well that should have that built in. It should have it so when
I'm
you
a
flip
hard
over.
top. I'm a hard top though. I'm a
The
coupe.
Boxster. No, the twin turbo is a hardtop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that doesn't have a roll bar.
Yeah.
But you have a Boxster.
Yep.
The Boxster should have something. It has something. Yeah, because anything past the 90s that's a convertible has some sort of a built-in roll bar or some sort of
I've
reinforcement.
never seen it.
Yeah. Well, you haven't flipped it. But the new ones
But I'm
absolutely
getting
do.
rid of both of them. I'm
Why are you
going
getting
to
rid of
Tesla.
them? Whoa, you're getting crazy.
Going to
Yeah.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Test drove a Tesla. It's unbelievable.
Oh, they're amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I want to feel young. It's a computer-driven car, no gas.
That makes you feel young?
Yeah, because I grew up in the 60s with all the muscle cars. And I never dreamed there'd be electric cars that can beat any combustible engine out there off the line, because the Tesla can beat anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. My twin turbo, professionally driven, will do 0 to 60 in 2.9. The Tesla does it in 2.6, unprofessionally driven.
Yeah, no, they're ridiculous.
Oh.
They're ridiculously fast.
Yeah. It's called, and you know what they call it? It's called the ludicrous option. He took it right out of Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Ludicrous. The guy's got a sense of humor.
He definitely does.
The ludicrous option. But and see, I'm going to do my house in Minnesota totally solar. And I'm going to do it to where it's 105%. so that way I can also fill my cars up off the sun. So I will be completely off any type